Hi there, hi there, hi there, and welcome back to another reading of the Bible. Make sure to grab your Bible and follow along if you would like, or just listen. So, I have my Bible here, and today we're going to be reading a really, really beautiful story. So, this is another short story, bite-sized, not a whole lot, but a really, really good one that I really want you guys to hear today. So it's a parable, of course, and it is really short. It's really easy to follow and has a really, really beautiful message and meaning to it. So I think you guys are really going to like this one. So it's a really good one to reflect on. It's really light and airy and nice to read before bedtime type thing. Getting ready to go to bed, getting ready for a nice sleep. Give this parable a read, give this video a listen, and you should have some sweet dreams. Light and peaceful. Light and peaceful. Light, light, light and peaceful. Light and peaceful. Light and peaceful. So if you would like to read along, you can, or you can just listen like I said. So you're going to find this story in Matthew, the book of Matthew. Matthew is the first book of the New Testament, so you can find it there. And the parable starts at 13:31. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let me pull up the book of Matthew in the First Testament. Okay, so here we go. At 13:31, Jesus says, "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed being sown in a field." So what did Jesus mean by this? A mustard seed being sown in a field. What did he mean by that? So if you've ever seen a mustard seed, you know it's smaller than a grain of rice, right? So when Jesus goes on to explain this, he says, when properly nurtured, it becomes greater than herbs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in its branches, is what he says. And so when I think about this parable in particular, it's beautiful. It is because it makes me think of prayer. We often get caught up in our everyday lives, like drama, stuff like that all the time, and in the day-to-day ups and downs that we all experience and have to deal with. And maybe we might even struggle to find time to have that meaningful conversation with God, to have that daily conversation with God, our Father. So let's just say you make just a little bit of time, just like that tiny little mustard seed, just make a little bit of time. Maybe you even decide to have a quick listen to a prayer on this channel, for instance, even just a little bit of time like that. That's what we called, that's why we call it conversation in prayer. Because we're always just conversing about prayer and about God, and we can talk about him freely. Just that little act of nurturing your faith every day is like planting that tiny little mustard seed. It just takes a tiny bit of time each and every day. So yeah, and as you nurture your faith each day, it becomes strengthened. Your relationship with God becomes stronger each time that you are nurturing the mustard seed, so to speak. So even though you might not even notice at the time, the solid foundation's being laid one brick at a time. And in more difficult times, your faith will be like a tree, which will keep you fully supported. So the more you're talking with God and whatnot, you might not notice it like in the moment, but after a while, like you just kind of start to notice that, wow, this relationship is growing stronger, and it just upholds you when, the daily things of life get to us, and you always have God to rely on and to speak to whenever you need him. So it's good to just be, keeping up with your faith and always nurturing the seed there. And then along with that, whenever you are in the middle of a challenge in your life, it can be a beautiful thing to discover the foundation that you have built with God, and that you have him there, and that he is here to help you and to support you. You built a solid foundation with him, and that is an unbreakable connection with God. You can't break that. You just can't. And so I also think about how the Bible talks about having patience. Patience is, I believe, a really big thing that the Bible likes to talk about. And when you plant a mustard seed, it doesn't grow into a tree right away. Like, duh, So, and as it says in James in James 5 verses 7 to 8, think of the farmer who waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient over it until it receives the early and late rain. You also be patient with your relationship with God. You also need to be patient for that seed to flourish into a tree. We see that in our own lives. If you've ever done a workout plan or had a project to complete, it takes time. It takes time just like anything else in life. Your relationship with God takes time. It can be like one healthy meal at a time, one training session, 1 or 2 pages of reading a book every night. And then sometime later you realize, I've reached my fitness goals. Like, oh, I've read that book. Oh, you know what I mean? I've been, like you've reached your goals of anything. Over time, you notice it and you're like, oh wow, I did that, Anyway, those are some of the reflections that come to my mind when I think of this parable. Just letting that seed grow and continuing to nourish it and nurture it and give it what it needs. So please do leave some of your comments down below. We do love to hear them. Whatever you can comment anything down there, anything that's on your heart, on your mind, experiences with God, favorite parables in the Bible. Make sure to leave it all down below. We love to see it. And on top of the topic about mustard seeds, I will leave you with this final thought for the day. And I hope it provides you with strength and comfort wherever you are and whoever needs to hear this. So here we have Matthew 17:20. For most certainly, I tell you, if you have faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed, you will tell this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. May peace be with you all.